Hey guys, my name is Samuel Ifedayo Oluwaseun, and a professor, just like a laboratory instructor. And I'm going to be making a series of videos. This is going to be like an introduction to these videos about those of you who are considering coming to the United States for maybe a bachelor's program or a graduate program, be it master's or PhD. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my own experience, how I went about things. Then further videos, I'm going to be taking you step by step on what you can do, how you can go about things, of course. And we hit the ball rolling. I hope that this is going to answer a lot of questions I get on LinkedIn, the questions I get on so many people. I could answer their questions. I could make these videos and make them see details of how things work. So to start with, my journey started in 2014, and I wanted to come to the United States, to Canada particularly, and somehow I didn't do the right thing. And I ended up not being able to come. So I was a chronic business person. I decided to focus on my business and chose to start a PhD in Nigeria and come to Canada and go to Canada through another route, like a J1 student. And that was the plan. Eventually, when the pandemic struck and Nigeria was in a condition I could not describe, I decided that, oh, this is an opportunity for me to do those things I couldn't do because I've been busy with business. So for those that know me, I have shops around Lagos. I have 2 shops in Bariga, I have a shop in Unilag, I have a shop in Arena, Oshodi. So I was all over. I had farms in Ondo State and I was all over. And because of that, I couldn't devote that time to be able to get the admission and come. But fortunately, pandemic locked everybody inside, and I had no choice than to say, hey, this is an opportunity for you to do those things you could not do. So I started. And what is the first thing I did? Started by making research. Go online, type for schools. For example, search for the name of your program, the program you're interested in. Put it on Google, and then there's going to be a list of schools that offer those programs. Go to the program website, check them, see the admission requirements, see if they require an exam for an entrance exam. If they don't, then go through the faculty members, see the areas, the faculty members. Faculty members are professors. You see a link to the faculty members, see the areas of their interest, see what they are doing, if that thing is probably related to what you learn in Nigeria. For those that are in STEM, for example, most times, most faculty hire people into laboratory or teaching assistant. And even when they hire TAs, they still want them to do some form of research. So your background could be an advantage. So you want to see faculty members, you want to see admission requirements, and you want to get familiar with the program before you begin. So what I did was I started perusing the website. I searched for several schools, and I had an Excel sheet that I would put all this information in. University of this, North Central, whatever. And I'll put in this thing, and I'll put the list of faculty members that seems like what they are doing is kind of related to what I'm familiar with, what I did in my bachelor's and what I did. I already had a master's degree in Nigeria before I chose to come. So I was doing that and I was having tabs of information. At the same time, I started preparing for GRE. I got some materials from some friends. I joined some groups online, WhatsApp groups, and I started using those materials to study. There are a number of them I could recommend for you. There's a list of video called Maguch Video. You can see them on YouTube, and you can also buy them. And they're going to put you through stages of the GRE preparation. So as I was using Magwitch Video, I was using a textbook called Manhattan 5LB. When I watch a particular topic on the Magwitch Video, I go to 5LB to practice it. And when I was done, I started using some ETS material to study and to prepare. And then I prepared for about 3 months, less than 3 months, a little bit. And before I prepared for my GRE, I had written TOEFL. I just decided to write this exam. You don't have to write TOEFL if you are coming here. They know that Nigerians can speak English, so you may not necessarily have to prove. A lot of schools, once you mail, even if they put it as a requirement, once you mail them, I am from Nigeria and we speak English over here, there are chances they can tell you, oh, we're going to waive the requirement. So you may not necessarily have to write it. I just wrote it. In fact, one thing that I did, I'm not mentioned that number one thing was to set money aside. I had a separate account and I kept money there because I know money could be a setback. And I want to tell you, you need money along the line. You need money. If you don't have money, there are so many things you will avoid, so many things that could have actually made you win. And eventually, you decide to avoid it because you don't have money. An example is University of Lagos will tell you to pay 10,000 before you apply for transcript, and every time you come back, you have to pay that money again. What I did was to take away my transcript from the hand of Unilag. I sent it to West, and whatever I needed, my transcript, I just ordered it from West. I'm gonna go back to Unilag. It's probably gonna give you another nightmare and all of the long story. Apologies to University of Lagos. So I just took it away from West because I have the money to be able to just say, okay, just one application, get it to West. And if any school need my transcript, I send it from West. A number of schools will say, oh, we don't want West copy. Fine, then I'll go back to Unilag. But in most cases, schools were comfortable with the copy from West. So it was wisdom to take it away from the hands of Unilag so that I can have access to it. And while we're talking about schools, you need to apply to multiple schools. As you are reaching out to professors, as you are checking the faculty members list, you have an email that you send to professors introducing yourself. Most times the first and the second paragraph are going to be the same. The first paragraph is going to be like a summary of everything you want to write in the email. This is my name, this is who I am, that's why I'm emailing you, this is where I saw your email from. That's just going to be the summary of the first paragraph. The second paragraph will now be a robust introduction of what you have done before, the experience you have, your academic background, your research, whatever, what you think can actually sell you. Then the third paragraph could be, what are you interested in this time? What are you interested in? What do you want to do with him? And then you can summarize in the fourth paragraph. And just such short email, send it to professors. A number of them are looking for students. As I check in website, it's free. Just all you need is the internet. And as I check in website, and you are seeing all of these programs that are related to what you do, look for the program coordinator. Look for people that are doing something, faculties that are doing something similar to what you are doing. Send them emails. That same email you send to faculty A, look at the email again, rewrite it in a way that it will make sense to faculty B, and send the email to faculty B. And you don't necessarily have to say, oh, I don't want to send it to 2 people in the same school. You can send it to B school if you want to, if you think you just want to. Because sometimes you may think, oh, they know themselves. No, nobody knows themselves. I'm in my office here, and I don't ask my neighbor, what do you see in your email? Nobody does anything. So send those emails out, get responses. From there, you know faculties are interested in what you are, what interested in you. And you see, there's nothing as exciting as having somebody that is already talking to you. Hey Samuel, I saw your email. I'm not going to take any student this January, but let's look at September. If you are still interested in, if you are still available, we may work things together. So you do that, you keep that in time, and you keep having multiple of them. Don't be scared of having multiple people you are talking to. Don't bank on one. Things happen, things change. Fundings may want to come and doesn't come on time. So things happen, and we understand that things happen. So have this contact. and keep the talk going as you prepare for your GRE. You may not have to prepare for GRE. A lot of programs does not require GRE, especially in the art and in some other sections that are not other areas of study that are not science. But for biological sciences, I recommend that you take the GRE. For engineering, I recommend that you take the GRE because it's just going to give you that advantage. There are a lot of programs that still use it as evaluation. Some programs don't, so they tell you they don't care about GRE. But in a case where a program wants to use it, it is good that you have it. And that's why I said, okay, just take those preparation periods to prepare. The exam is not hard. It's just going to test how smart you are. It's going to help you. Because questions could be just very simple questions. How do you compare this to this? A typical question could be, which one is bigger, 3/4 and 25/75? Which one is bigger? I mean, it may not be that straightforward, but I'm just saying that you could. It's not hard once you can go through those materials and you can practice and practice. You need to devote about 4 hours in a day. I can assure you, you're going to do well. 4 hours a day with consistent practice in 3 months, you're going to do well. I mean, I usually recommend 4 months, but I did mine in 3 months. And of course, I applied to programs. I reached out to professors, and interestingly, that was my journey down to the US. When I was coming, I applied to several schools. I got admitted into about 4 of them. I got funding in about 3. Then I chose one of them, and this one I chose it because I was completely in continuous conversation with the professor, and we're having several meetings, and she was expecting me to come, so I couldn't but just choose that one. And well, I won't say you should do that. Look for the one that favors you and choose to come. Don't do what I did. And that was how I got to the United States. When I got here, I realized that their courses are flexible. I mean, Nigeria boy, we don't do PhD. I look at the rules, 36 credits, and how do you want to cut the long story short? I finished my program in 1 year, 36 credits, and I was on the thesis track. Well, I was able to do that because I already have experience. I was doing a PhD, I was a lecturer, and I know what they want from students, and I know how to handle things because I've been in that position before. So it was quite easy for me. But I'm going to be making videos from time to time to tell you what you need to do. The video I made yesterday, the short reel I made on Instagram, is about undergraduate admissions. The enrollment here has dropped so low. The enrollment in school is probably 50% lower than it used to be right now. So schools here need students. Like, I can't emphasize it enough. Need students. Look at your program, a program you're interested in, and apply if you want to take a bachelor's again. It may not be a mistake to start again, depending on your course in Nigeria. If you come out, there are some programs you do here that you make a lot of money if it is money you're interested in. If you choose to do non-senior, for example, within your first 2 semesters, you'll be able to probably do a CNA job and raise a little money to pay back some of your the money you spent. And let's talk about it. I mentioned Georgia Southern University. I mentioned South Georgia State College. I mentioned University of West Georgia, where I had my master's. University of West Georgia is giving this November admission application is free for all these schools. Columbus State, many universities across the United States are waiving application in the month of November. It's a good time to take advantage of it. I recommend that because once it's December, you're going to pay, and you can apply for fall 2023 in case you can't get visa again, visa appointment again. You can apply for fall 2023. Check all the schools. The applications are free. They may request that you send your transcript. They may request that you send some document like a write-up if you're applying for professional programs, for example. But I mean, there are things you can provide, but application is free. So let's talk about money. Somebody was asking me, well, how much does it cost? I'm going to talk based on the knowledge I have where I finished from. University of West Georgia, for example, the tuition is about 9,000. Then you pay a mandatory fee of about $750. It used to be $1,000. They've changed it to $750. And you also pay health insurance. They made it compulsory for everybody to buy health insurance that is quite expensive, about $1,050. So in all, you're spending about $1,800 as a mandatory fee. And tuition is about $9,000. But guess what? Reach out to them. Tell them that you want to apply for out-of-state tuition. There are chances that they're going to give you. So if you are on out-of-state tuition and you get that waiver, out-of-state tuition waiver, like you're allowed to pay as someone that has lived in the state, a citizen that has lived in the state for over a year, you're going to be paying only $5,000. They give out that to a number of people. And everybody I've told to apply, for example, to West Georgia has been given. So they do that. And if you apply, there are chances that you're going to get it. So you may end up paying the $5,000. That $5,000 is including the $1,800. In fact, it's $4,800 you may end up paying. You will pay this money. That's the truth. But the good news is that there are a lot of student jobs in University of West Georgia that you can earn money while you are in school as an undergraduate student, because the free application is for bachelor's program, not for graduate program. So you can work in maybe the athletic center, you can work in maybe the campus center, you can work in the dining hall, you can work in several places, and you get paid up to 700, about 800. I don't know if that's possible, but I think you should be able to earn up to, depending on the number of hours you put in, you'll be able to earn over 700 in a month, and you can use that to pay your rent, pay for housing, and use it to feed. Then you still have to pay your $4,800 the next semester. The only way you can avoid that is if you're in University of West Georgia, for example, if you have a CGPA that is high, like 3.8, 3.9, or 4.0, it's possible. I graduated with 3.9. So it's possible, and I know a number of people, undergraduate students, that have 4.0, so it's very, very possible. Now, if you have 4.0 or 3.8 or thereabouts, they're going to cut that money. So instead of paying 4,008, you may end up paying maybe around 3,000 something at the end of the month, at the end of the next semester. And even if you don't have it, you can still try to apply for the out of state if they are going to give you the opportunity the second time. So, but I encourage you to have a high CGPA so that you will qualify for that waiver. They cut it so low, even less than $4,000. So, and these are ways you can finance yourself if you choose to come. I know Georgia Southern give scholarship to undergraduate students that waive their tuition completely. Because I also got admitted to Georgia Southern when I was coming, so I know a little bit about what they do. They call it diversity, whatever, and inclusion. And but because I didn't school there, I may not tell how job is on campus. I think there could be job on campus, but I am in South Georgia State now. I'm new here. I can't tell if there are jobs on campus. But for West Georgia, I've been over a year. I know that the jobs that you can take. All right, so I'm going to be rounding up. I don't want disturbance. Somebody just came close to my door, and I think he has left. So I'm going to be rounding up, and I will encourage you to apply on the graduate programs. For master's program, I've told you need money for the application. Set aside money. Send your transcript. Reach out to professor. Write the GRE. write TOEFL if you want to. You don't necessarily have to write. I don't recommend that to write TOEFL. Then apply. There are some programs that we just admit you without funding. For example, most of those biological sciences, they don't admit too much, but programs like MBA, they admit people because I don't know, I think they could have accommodated more people. Computer science, they admitted more than 100 people for their masters in applied computer science in University of West Georgia. So programs like that, like public health, they give a lot of admission. I got admitted to public health in Georgia State University in Atlanta. I got admitted. They also had a program I got admitted to. It was more like a certificate program in maternal and child health. I also got admitted to public health in Georgia Southern University, and I got a scholarship with it. So it is not totally impossible. I would say shoot your shot, and by God's grace, you'll be victorious. You will have it. So I think this video would have been able to do some justice to most of the questions I got from my yesterday's video. I encourage you to reach out, send me an email as much. If I can reply, I reply. Those that have my number can also send me a chat. If you don't, go on the website and do these things I asked you to do, and I can assure you, come August next year, you'll probably be on your way to